Can we be ready?
Yeah.
Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. God bless you. Have a good day.
No, I'll talk more about it.
Yeah, you can. Yo. Morning. Morning, guys. Welcome. Hey, Carlos. We can't see that, brother. It's not dark enough. Sorry.
I can see it.
I can see it.
I can
see
Everyone but
Mr. Riley can't see.
I'm just saying that most people probably won't be able to make that out.
Yeah, do a darker colors. Just,
I forgot. I'll bet.
there's no black up there?
It don't work.
Oh. Who teaches this?
Yeah, I wonder the same
That's
thing.
usually
That's the
in
worst
Ralph.
Carlos.
Stevenson or JJ?
Whoops.
Just bold it, make it more.
I
Cloud,
Cloud,
It
yes.
takes all the black markers.
Go down to the, oh,
What's that? What?
That's So how long have you secretly been Steve Perry? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. I'm not Steve Perry.
According to his presentation.
I'm not Steve Perry.
Noah's training us? What?
Journey's greatest hits. That's a good album.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
This computer not working no more.
Oh.
Yeah, we gotta adjust the setting on it.
Yeah. Sorry.
It doesn't work. There's two buttons.
Oh,
I've got the top and the computer on both of them. It's on the second one if you plug the computer in. So.
You ever listen to Rich Mullins?
I'll never admit that.
Never listen to that one?
Good, good stuff.
Yeah.
So yes.
Rich Mullins and Keith Green.
Wow.
Yes.
Alright, that's the. Can I just start now?
Yes, whenever you're ready, brother.
Alright, cool. That's the website link if you want to follow. Yeah, I made it into a bit.ly so it can be easier to type out. You can follow it on your phone also. You don't need a computer. I kind of try to edit it a little bit for phone usage. So, and all the links work too, so don't call me while I'm presenting. But yeah, so the ministry is Inner Life Restorations. And the slogan is transformational love through faith and service. This is based in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, which is where I grew up, from Brewer Road Church of Christ, which is a church that I also grew up in. And yeah, we have an Instagram page that I made. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, Inner City Life is a Christian youth program dedicated to nurturing the faith and spiritual growth of young individuals. Our ministry focuses on providing a supportive environment where youth can explore their belief, deepening their relationship with Jesus, and find guidance and support in their faith and journey. And here I have a little area where they know where to go. This is the actual location of the church, my phone number, and then the email that I created for them to reach out youth group. And also here's a area where they can put prayer requests, their phone number, email, so I can get back to them and their name. Yeah. So some of our doctrinal statements, I really shortened all of them, and it's really you're able to see the entire thing here just by clicking the link. So that's the full 8 pages that's written. So yeah, I'm gonna go over the philosophies of ministry. First being, also shortening this, yeah. Just an overview. First being love, and love is something essential in ministry. It is highlighted in Matthew 22. It flows from God to individuals, fostering self-love and love for others as well. Proper love for others stems from loving God and respecting through our actions, not just our words. Our faith is something crucial in ministry, representing belief in the unseen, and that unseen is God. And yeah, trust in Jesus based on his life, sacrificial death, and resurrection is something very important. This unwavering faith enables us to guide others towards him, and that helps foster that transformational experiences and deepen connections in their spiritual journeys. And then truth and reason. And the reason why I have this together is because I believe that in order to get truth, we need reason behind it. And that's kind of like how I came to faith as well, is through looking at the truth that the Bible presented, and then having my own reasons on why following it. So I believe that a lot of kids are the same way back at home, and I believe this is a very key way of reaching out to them as well. Another important thing is grace in this ministry, and it's like helping imperfect people, which we all are, in need of God's love during our failures. And by loving others, we reflect on God's grace, fostering growth and reflection. This grace leads to salvation and a personal connection with God. And that creates also another transformational experience through both receiving and sharing grace. And then leadership. And that is something that guides us by the example that Jesus gives us as well. And it's outlined throughout the letters that Paul gives to Timothy. And yeah, you can also see the entire thing here, because it was super long and did not want to read through the whole thing. So this is a picture of Hidden Acres. I think this was just this past summer. So yeah, the vision. The vision is to equip inner city youth to live transformational lives through faith in Christ, servant leadership, and community service. And through that, we're gonna be, I forgot to change this, but instead of equipping parents, we're gonna partner with parents. And I believe this is important because of the just the demographic and understanding the culture that we have at our church. So this is going to be helping walking alongside parents, because understanding my the difficulties that I may have, and that's my age. I'm single and I'm very and I've never raised kids, right? Sure, I might have helped raise my brother, but I haven't raised my own kids. So that can bring a barrier between me and the parents and trying to help them. So I'm going to be walking alongside them instead of telling them what they're doing wrong or what's going on badly. And then teaching God's word. So this is through discipleship. That is very important that youth get taught sound doctrine through a discipleship relationship. And that results in a more comfortable manner in addressing spiritual disciplines and encouragement as well. Gospel-centered youth, and that's having Christ at center of the ministry. And that's important because our reason for ministry is Jesus, and that's the fundamental, and that's the foundation due to the nature and the personhood of our Savior. Serving, the purpose of serving is to glorify God as we humbly serve, to become less in our own lives and let God also work in us and through us for the benefit of His own glory and purposes. And then prayer, because that's something key for every believer to have, as it is a direct way of communicating to God, as it brings us closer in a more personal relationship with Him. And how that's going to be done is to be committed to loving God and loving others as a foundation by guiding their inner city youth and deepening their relationship, deepening their faith in Jesus Christ through teaching truth, practicing servant leadership, discipleship in a community that is gracious, allowing for personal growth, and promoting life-changing relationships. And some of the people that I'm going to be ministering to is those at-risk inner city youth in Winston, and they deal with a lot of issues like gang violence, a lot of substance abuse. They often deal with neglect and premarital sex, which is something very common there. And the youth there often really experience anxiety, depression, mistrust, and it really affects their social lives. And you see it all around as you get to know these kids and talk to these kids, because I was in their shoes as well, so I understand them and I know where they're coming from. They also experience unstable homes and lack of resources, so the education there isn't very well if you're not in a good neighborhood, if you don't live in a good neighborhood, and if you don't have transportation to a better school. There's not really much programs to help out those youth either. So what they need is love and compassion and grace to help them transform and live in a better life. And it's important to understand their struggles and just remember that these kids need Jesus. So some of the things is hopefully this will be a weekly meeting, kind of like a youth group, and this will be a youth group, and except for the weekends or times when we will have retreats or whenever we go away for a week at camp over at Burr Road, and this is primarily for middle schooler and high schoolers. The reason why I'm doing this is to minister to inner city youth who are typically not receiving a love, grace, and mercy at home. The hope is to give them the gospel, the message of the gospel, and to give them tools to live their everyday life while integrating Jesus and His message in their own lives. The aim is for the gospel to work in them so that they can start changing, so they can start living their life for Christ. Some ways that we're going to be doing this is through training, so being trained in the gospel, because I believe that's something very important as it shapes a person's morals and it views and values growing up and where they put their identity into and who they believe they are. I think that one of the issues of today is that people don't know who they are, so they put their identity in whatever it may be, and that's where a lot of these, I guess, woke agendas come from, is because they don't know who they are. And so instead of putting their identity in Jesus, they put their identity in whatever it may be, which may be in their sexuality or in their sports or activities, whatever, fill in the blank. So this is like reading, knowing, understanding, and being able to explain the gospel to others. And this will be through having time spent throughout Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So serving. So community service will be used as a way to selflessly serve and to be out there in the community, to be a light towards people, and hopefully spark conversations. So you're going to see young kids out there in the community and be like, what the heck are you doing serving? You're young. We usually don't see this because you don't. And hopefully these are ways that they're able to spark conversations with others and grow their love into serving others and love others as they show their love for God through their service. Discipleship. One thing that I want to implement is community discipleship. And this is having the youth being discipled by people in the community who are believers, established in their faith and also in their careers, so that the child may interact and see what a believer is like in that profession in which they may want to do in the future. And this can be a Christian doctor, a Christian policeman, a nurse, whatever it may be. And yeah, weekly meetings. So this would be like youth group. And it's a place where they'll be able to grow and explore their own faith in a safe environment. And this event will be organized events to help with community building and also trust building, to better help with discussion groups and growing in their faith and love. And then evangelism. And one of the ways that we want to do evangelism is through community worship nights, where they start inviting their friends, and then their own youth are leading that those worship nights, where they can introduce those friends or family to the gospel as they lead the service, and practicing that servant leadership that I was talking about earlier. And then here the goal is to have the youth who want to actively serve in the church and in the community. And this will be measured by like how much they want to serve, how much they serve, and it just shows that they want to serve. So kind of this first year that I want to do whenever I start in the summer is like the theme is more allowing that love to transform through their faith and through their service. So again, this is what is that blurry? Alright. This is a real ministry, so I have real people here that are actually elders and pastors of the church. So this is Gustavo Brato. He is an elder and a pastor at the church. He'll be like one of the shepherds, and I will be working directly under him, and he is the one who's going to be supervising me, making sure everything is going well, and yeah. And then Simon Ventura, which is actually my uncle, not my dad. I know we have the same last name. And he is also one of the passionate elders who is in a different part of the ministry, and Pedro Aguilar. And then goes me, and I will be the overseer of the youth program. And ignore the picture. My role is to care and to nurture the needs of the kids and the spiritual formations that they're going through, and creating a curriculum for them to better learn. And then there's Edwin, who most of you have met. He'll be one of the youth leaders. And with the youth leaders are also Ryan and Laisha, and they're one of the people who have that active relationship with the youth. I will be too, but it would be hard for me to nurture 30 kids at one time, so that's where the youth leaders come in. And they're the ones who have the active relationship with the children. So one thing is like leading small group of the youth group and having a discipleship relationship with them. And that's aiding them in their spiritual transformations. So that's like going to their games, or going to a recital that they have, or going out somewhere with them. So that's helping them growing in their faith, being part of their everyday lives is something that I see for the youth leaders to have. And then volunteers, these are actually my uncles. And some volunteers, I'll be having teachers, so people that come in and teach, and helping the youth learn and understand Bible and theology. I will have mentors as well. And these will be the people also discipling the youth and helping them live and light of the gospel. Then I'll have representatives, because something that I want to do is have college-age people from the 2 Christian universities that are in Winston-Salem come over. So I would want these people to go and establish relationships as whenever I'm trying to build additional programs that I have those resources in those other colleges to have their students to want to volunteer over at the youth group and have hand-on experience also, so it benefits both people in a way. And I have people that are communicating. So one thing is wanting to have youth groups come together, and also whenever we're doing retreats, whether we're hosting one, going over to camp, have communicators to make sure everything is correct and running smoothly so that people know what times to be there, where to go, where to be, and stuff like that. And then coordinators that are the ones planning those things, and planning the itinerary of the events and making sure we're able to have venues and have those supplies for the events to be good to go. So yeah, if you want to click on links also, these things also work. So just, yeah, so that's it.
Thank you, Carlos. Any questions for Carlos or his ministry?
Do you guys like have a youth group at your church already, or are you gonna start one?
So when I went back after my freshman year, we had one for the summer, and then I left, and there was no one else set in place to help with that. So it's kind of like starting it from scratch again. So that's kind of just what I'm working with, and that's how it's gonna be. So.
Carlos, I appreciate that you have done a good job of identifying the needs and some of the challenges of your audience, and that you're offering spiritual response to them and help, but then even helping them live in this life. So I love the idea of the mentorship program of someone in the community that they can relate to, that they can connect to, who are living life in their careers or living life in the community and working through life in the community. So I appreciate that element there, and that's going to serve you well, I think, in ministering to people effectively. So good job in that, for sure. Any other questions, comments for Carlos? Carlos, good job. Thank you for sharing your heart. So we're back here at 11 o'clock for the remainder of our seniors, 3 of them, Amanda, Lawrence, Samantha, Zernhelt, and Josh Matt. So they'll be back in here presenting as well at 11, and then that'll do it for our thank you guys. Thank you for coming to support our seniors.